Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. Regular viewers of our YouTube channel have probably noticed that most of the time I have a bunch of different decals all over my cars. While I love racing, my favorite automotive pastime is definitely charity road rallies. For the last 5 years, CJ Pony Parts has sponsored Rally North America, which holds these rallies all over the country. Today we have two very special guests in our studio. We have Tony, who is the co-founder of Rally North America, and Travis here from this year's charity, Hope for the Warriors. Guys, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Tony, tell us about Rally North America. How did it get started? Where did the charity aspect come from? Give us a little bit of history.
Well, Rally North America was started in 2009. A bunch of us got together and said, hey, let's do something with our cars. Instead of just going to a car show and sitting behind a car, let's get out and see things. Let's drive the cars. Let's do things. And we did that 1 year. And the next year we said, hey, let's ramp this thing up. That's why I approached CJ's. CJ's as a sponsor said, hey, what do we have to do to sponsor? I said, support our charity. And our group thought this would be, if we could do this and somehow benefit a charity, it would be a great thing.
And the first year, the very first one, it was a bunch of you and your friends. How many cars went that time?
It was 9 cars.
9 cars.
So
and then once the charity aspect jumped in, how many cars did you have that year?
The first year we jumped up to 60.
Okay.
And then we jumped up to 80. And then we kind of cut it off at 80 because when it's, for myself and Scott, Scott Spielman is the other organizer, it's almost like herding cats out there if we have, and 80 cars is a lot. So
it is.
I mean, you have them lined up on a city block and hotels and things like that. But yeah, when we brought that charity aspect in, I think a lot of people wanted to get involved. They wanted to do something nice for others and enjoy the hobby, enjoy their cars, go out and see things, do things. Since 2009, we've raised a total of $450,000 in direct donations to our charities. This year, we're working with Hope for the Warriors. Hope for the Warriors. Scott, it came about because we wanted to support a veteran thing. Scott and myself are both veterans. Scott's still active.
Okay, he's Air Force.
That's right. Yes. He's Air Force. I'm ex-Air Force, so I spent 11 years in. So we wanted to do something to benefit the veterans out there that needed help.
Okay.
And that's kind of where Hope for the Warriors came into play.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about Hope for the Warriors?
Absolutely. So Hope for the Warriors was founded aboard Camp Lejeune in 2006. Since then, it's grown to a national nonprofit organization. We specialize in services for post 9/11 service members, their families, and families of the fallen. So taking into consideration that we're trying to restore a sense of self, family, and hope, at the same time understanding that a combative deployment doesn't just solely affect the service member, it affects that entire family. It fractures that entire family unit. So lots of times when people, they get deployed and they come back, they're not necessarily understanding everything that had to happen back at home, and they're certainly not understanding everything that happened while those service members, men and women, were forward. So what we try to do is provide a pillar approach to programmatic services, everything from sports and recreation to hunting and fishing to licensed clinical therapy to family reintegration programs. So if you look at it in this aspect, if you're a child of a service member and you're 11 years old and your father goes off and deploys, and about his 8th month in theater he's injured and goes to a Walter Reed or a Bethesda, which everyone hears about, or a Tripler. Depending upon those injuries, he could be there for a year and a half. So by the time you get home, by the time the dad comes home, everybody thinks, oh, well, he's home now, it's not a big deal anymore. Well, that child's 2.5 years older.
Things have changed a lot in his life.
So, and that growth time frame in there, so that family reintegration and bringing everything back to center for him is something we strive to do every day.
And how would a soldier get in contact with you? And one of our veterans needs help. How do they go about getting in contact with you?
Absolutely. So we have a client porthole that we just established about 90 days ago, and since then we've had a tremendous surge of intakes, of clinical intakes specifically. So if you go to our website, www.hopeforthewarriors.org, there you'll see our client porthole. You can register. Everything is autonomous, so you don't have to worry about a lot of times we have to be honest with one another. A lot of times we allow our egos to get in the way of seeking help for ourselves.
Okay.
So when you go through there, there's no face-to-face, so you don't have to worry about your ego or anything else. You can go through, and one of our licensed clinical social workers will get back in touch with you within the next 24 hours and kind of walk you through that healing process. At the same time, if you are just a service member or a family member and you really enjoy hunting or fishing, or you enjoy, foot races, we put on about 20 foot races a year.
Okay. So 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons, stuff like that.
We start with there's always a 1 mile run. and then a 5K, 10K, and a half marathon. And that 1 mile run is very unique because everyone thinks it's a fun run, but if you're an injured service member recovering from your injuries, at one time you were the height of physical fitness.
Yeah, and now it's almost you're learning all over again.
Exactly, and that 1 mile run is your reintegration back into that and back into the competitive side. So it's not a fun run.
And that could be huge just to make that mile with what they've gone through.
It could be the same as a marathoner, completing the Boston Marathon. That 1 mile is just as physically taxing, but it gets them back into what they were doing before. It gets them back into that same lifestyle that they had.
Okay.
And it's all, much like the Rally North America, it's all very much community based. So we're trying to do things in the service member and their family's community so that we can exploit all of the things that are available to them there, so that we're not taking them from one place to another to say, okay, hey, here you can do this, but it's not available to you, Monday through Friday.
And where are you based out of? Are you in the DC area?
Well, our headquarters is in Annandale, Virginia, Washington, D.C. So we have offices in D.C., New York City, North Carolina, Texas, California.
So you are nationwide. It's not a regional thing.
Correct.
It's all over the place.
We have staff in Korea providing services to soldiers in Korea as well. So this is not one geographic thing. I travel quite frequently across the United States, going to the different events, trying to interact with the different service members, because there was a time when I was on active duty. I retired in 2009. My generation is conversely different than the younger generation of today, and what I would want to find solace in, or my passions are, may not be the same. So we have to be able to continually bridge that gap, and have to be able to continually reconnect to our client base, our customer base, those service members deploying.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming in. Tony, thank you as well.
Thank you, sir.
If you'd like to make a donation for Hope for the Warriors, please click the link below. Tell you all about them and how you can help.